Hi, I'm John Twist of University Motors. Today we're going to talk about front suspensions on T-types and MGAs. But before we do that, let me make a pitch for our technical seminars that are coming up the 10th and 11th, 12th, 13th, around there of March. We have our weekend technical seminar, which is all things MG, how to service your car, how to tune it. And then we have our gearbox rebuild following that, our gearbox rebuild workshop. So our seminar runs Friday through Sunday, and the workshop runs Monday and Tuesday. And that's around the 10th, 11th, 12th of March. And the year, 2014. Gosh, who knew it was going to turn to whatever happened to Y2K? Hey, today I want to talk about front suspensions. Now this is a kingpin from the left front of an MGA. And we know it's an MGA because of the type of rectangles there are here to hold the brakes. And as the kingpin turns, you know, the A-arms are holding the link, which we commonly refer to as trunnions, at the top and bottom, and the steering arm comes out the front. And the hub, of course, is turning here. So a bunch of stuff will happen here. Let's take a real close look right down inside here, and we can see, look at how horrible this is here. Okay, that shouldn't move at all. None, zero. If we look at the top one and shake him, there's no free play here. Well, there's a tiny bit. But the bottom one, the water gets down inside here and rusts it away. Now, prior to taking these links off, you have to press out the distance tube. Now, that distance tube looks pretty nice. A lot of them are really, really nasty. And then you can unscrew the trunnions. Now, the kingpin has got a left-hand thread on the left-hand side of the car, and the kingpin has a right-hand thread on the right-hand side of the car. Same thing with the hub nut. It's got a left-hand thread on the left side of the car. It tightens in the direction of wheel rotation. And the other side, the right-hand side, is right-hand, and that tightens in the direction of wheel rotation. Well, the kingpins have that same thread. These are, I started turning it backwards here. These are called, I think these are called Acme threads. They're square, or rectangular square thread. So you can only get this so far off when that distance tube is in there. And if you try to turn it all the way off with the distance tube in place, then you end up ruining the threads on part of the kingpin. So these guys can come off, and if you have a shouldered mandrel and a reamer, which we happen to have here, then you can rebuild these links. Matter of fact, that's what we're doing, because here it is wintertime. It's slow, so we're catching up on some of the stuff we'll need. There's a distance tube inside here, or a bushing rather, and the distance tube fits inside here. The distance tube is longer. Take a look here, make him flush here on the bottom. The distance tube, if you can see that, is ever so slightly longer than the trunnion, so that when the distance tube is clamped snugly by the ears of the A-arm, or on the bottom, the ears of the shock rather, and then the bottom, the ears of the A-arm, then this is free to pivot, and the suspension can move up and down. In fact, the suspension always stays in the same place, right? It's the car that moves up and down, but for demonstration purposes, it's easier to show that. So this distance tube always has to rotate. These originally were hardened. Some of the ones that come from the modern manufacturers now are not so hard. And if you want to be really slick when you put them together, you grind a little groove around the middle so that the grease which comes into here can get around and spread out and keep the thing well lubricated during its life. You cannot unscrew the bottom one because it hits the backing plate. So you have to take the backing plate off first. Once the backing plate's off, then it's possible to unscrew the top end and the bottom. This is a T-type. You can tell by the thread, but this thing has been heated up pretty toasty, I think, because this trunnion, top trunnion, is frozen on top of there. Anyway, you can unscrew this. Then you get the steering arm out, and then you can look at the kingpin. Now the kingpin, if we take a look at the kingpin, just straight up through here, we just take a look at it. He looks pretty straight, but if we turn him on the side, we can see that this end down here is bent off to your left, which means that it hit a curb or something at some time in the past, and this is not satisfactory to reuse. Now, if it's got just a little bit of a bend in it, you can bend it back. You can bend it back. There's no problem doing that. But if it's really bent, and what's really bent, you know, like that, you're up that creek, and you have to buy a new kingpin. New kingpins are available. And the kingpins have an interference fit down through here, so we have to put these on a press and press them back into place. And of course, you always have to make sure that the threads here, if it's a right-hand thread here, it better be a right-hand thread here. So when we rebuild these, we get them right down to the stub axle, spin them on the lathe so that the bearings will slide on and off very nicely. We go through all of our kingpins, clean those all up, make sure that those are all nice and straight and the threads are good. We take the trunnions, we clean these up, get them all clean, press out the bushings that are inside, press in new bushings, and then we have to size them. We have a tool that we chuck these up on a lathe and spin them like that, and we can face the ends to make sure they're nice and smooth, and we can also adjust the overall length to match up with whichever distance tube that we have. Back in the day, not so much hand fitting was necessary, but today, with the vagaries of the production of all these parts, you really have to make sure that everything is fitted very carefully. So we're doing that during the winter time. If you want to take advantage of one of the ones that we've built, one of the sets that we've built, you can find our stuff on eBay, on our eBay store. So anyway, coming up just this next week, I'm going to be in Morgan Hill, California, at the British Motor Trade Association meeting, really San Jose, Silicon Valley area there. And if you're out that way, it's on the road again. It's a nice shop. We'll be there, I think Thursday, maybe it's on a Thursday, Friday or Saturday. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you at our technical seminars. I look forward to seeing you bid on rebuilt kingpins for your T-type or your MGB, or your MGB. We just did a whole bunch of them for MGBs. Here, let's just go over and take a peek at those just for a minute. Well, these are a lot beefier design. These are a lot nicer, but it's the same deal. We have these trunnions top and bottom that hold the shocks, and shock at the top and the arms at the bottom, and the swivels are very much improved design. But those are we got these rebuilt too. So if you need kingpins, call us. I don't want to sound like Starvin' Marvin, but stop. I need your business. Hey, until later, safety fast.